February 5th. Did it. The pain was the part I was most worried about. I can stand pain, but I thought that in my weakened condition, a combination of hunger and agony might force unconsciousness before I could finish. But the heroin solved that quite nicely. I opened one of the bags and sniffed 2 healthy pinches from the surface of a flat rock. First the right nostril, then the left. As I sniffed up some beautifully numbing ice that spread through the brain from the bottom up. I aspirated the heroin as soon as I finished writing in the diary yesterday. That was at 9:45. Next time I checked my watch, the shadows had moved, leaving me partially in the sun, and the time was 12:41. I had nodded off. I had never dreamed that it could be so beautiful, and I can't understand why I was so scornful before. The pain, the terror, the misery, they all disappeared, leaving only a calm euphoria. It was in this state that I operated. There was, indeed, a great deal of pain, most of it, in the early part of the operation. But the pain seemed disconnected from me, like someone else's pain. It bothered me, but it was also quite interesting. Can you understand that? If you've used a strong morphine-based drug yourself, perhaps you can. It does more than dull the pain. It induces a state of mind, a serenity. I can understand why people get hooked on it, although hooked seems an awfully strong word, used most commonly, of course, by those who have never tried it. About halfway through, the pain started to become a more personal thing. Waves of faintness washed over me. I looked longingly at the open bag of white powder, but forced myself to look away. If I went on to nod again, I'd bleed to death. As surely as if I'd fainted, I counted backward from 100 instead. Loss of blood was the most critical factor. As a surgeon, I was vitally aware of that. Not a drop could be spilled unnecessarily. If a patient hemorrhages during an operation in a hospital, you can give them blood. I had no such supplies. What was lost, and by the time I had finished, the sand beneath my leg was darkened, was lost until my own internal factory could resupply. I had no clamps, no homostats, no surgical thread. I began the operation. At exactly 12:45, I finished at 1:50, and immediately dosed myself with heroin, a bigger dose than before. I nodded into a gray, painless world and remained there until nearly 5 o'clock. When I came out of it, the sun was nearing the western horizon, beating a track of gold across the blue Pacific toward me. I've never seen anything so beautiful. All the pain was paid for in that one instant. An hour later, I snorted a bit more, so as to fully enjoy and appreciate the sunset. Shortly after dark, wait, haven't told you I'd had nothing to eat for 4 days. And that the only help I could look to in the matter of replenishing my sap of vitality was my own body. Above all, haven't I told you over and over that survival is a business of the mind, the superior mind? I won't justify myself by saying you would have done the same thing. First of all, you're probably not a surgeon. Even if you knew the mechanics of amputation, you might have botched the job so badly you would have bled to death anyway. And even if you had lived through the operation and the shock trauma, the thought might never have entered your preconditioned head. Never mind. No one has to know. My last act before leaving the island will be to destroy this book. I was very careful. I watched it thoroughly before I ate it. February 7th. Pain from the stump has been bad, excruciating from time to time. But I think the deep-seated itch, as the healing process begins, has been worse. I've been thinking this afternoon of all the patients that have babbled to me that they couldn't stand the horrible, unscratchable itch of mending flesh. And I would smile and tell them they would feel better tomorrow, privately thinking what whiners they were, what jellyfish, what ungrateful babies. Now I understand. Several times I've come close to ripping my shirt bandage off the stump and scratching at it, digging my fingers into the soft, raw flesh, pulling out the rough stitches, letting the blood gout onto the sand, anything to be rid of that maddening, horrible itch. At those times I count backward from 100 and snort heroin. I have no idea how much I've taken into my system, but I do know I've been stoned almost continually since the operation. It depresses hunger, you know. I'm hardly aware of being hungry at all. There is a faint, faraway gnawing in my belly, and that's all. It could easily be ignored. I can't do that, though. Heroin has no measurable caloric value. I've been testing myself, crawling from place to place, measuring my energy. It's ebbing. Dear God, I hope not. But another operation may be necessary later. Another plane flew over. Too high to do any good. All I could see was the contrail edging itself across the sky. I waved anyway. Waved and screamed at it. When it was gone, I wept. Getting too dark to see now. Food. I've been thinking about all kinds of food. My mother's lasagna, garlic bread, a huge slice of pound cake, and a scoop of homemade vanilla ice cream they give you for dessert, and Mother Crunch on First Avenue, hot pretzels, baked salmon, baked Alaska, baked ham with pineapple rings, onion dip with potato chips, cold iced tea, and long sips. French fries make you smack your lips. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 94. God, God, God.